Alright, Chuck, so here we are with your backhand. So this is what it looked like. I fed a few balls to you. It's really not that bad. I mean, I think we kind of talked about you had all the pieces, just trying to put them in the right sequence. That last one was actually really good. And here it is. And here it is in slow motion. Now I know I already sent this to you without me talking over it, but I thought I would just go over some of the bullet points that we talked about that maybe you can use on your own. So here you are, and here you are in ready position. So you're in ready position, and before so you know it's coming in your backhand. You change your grip, but you do right. Grip change. You just change your grip. That's awesome. And you can see now your move up. Now this is very subtle. So you're in ready position, which is basically a neutral stance. Your weight's on both toes, and you load up. So that's your load up. It's very subtle. It's just that little shoulder. It's a little bit of a turn to your left, and your weight is still on you. And your weight, you can tell, goes to your left, right there. That is your load up. It's very subtle, but you did it. I mean, that's what you need to do. I would say maybe your feet could be a little bit further apart, but that's kind of nitpicking. And so you'll see, and then you have to move a little bit. So even though you load up first, you take a few more steps, and then you load up again. And so why is that important? Well, I'll tell you why. So because the ball, I didn't hit it exactly right to you. Instead of you taking one big step, you load up, and then you readjust, and then you load up again. And that all happens right there. Ready position, you load, you readjust, you load again, and you can see your weight is squarely on your left foot. Your right toe is up, which is perfect. Your shoulders are turned, but your racket is not too far back. And then from here, you step in. And what we really focused on here was, and the biggest thing yesterday was this whole idea of going 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So as the racket comes forward, it's down, and then you get to, you're not really starting at 6 o'clock, but you're definitely starting below the ball. And you can see there's our 9 o'clock. Boom. And the racket continues up to 12 o'clock. Perfect. So a couple things I wanted to bring up, things that we never talked about, things that you do almost perfectly, which I probably would get into down the road, which apparently we never need to. So a lot of this stuff happens naturally, but you do it quite well. I thought I'd point out some different things. So you got the nice shoulder turn. Now as you step, watch what it's called, heel to toe. Look how your right heel, when you step, you put your right heel down first. What this allows is a very nice weight transfer. You can just see it, like you almost rock. You rock through the foot. And one thing I also like is that, so you went heel to toe, now your weight's really on your right foot. See that nice knee bend? You know, you're not like you're sitting in a chair killing yourself, but you could not be more balanced. Look at your eyes. They are laser locked on the ball. And so so now from here, as you swing, look what your right knee does. It straightens. And that gives you a lot of power. You really use that, you thrust off that right leg. So having a, I've often thought before I was really paying attention to these things, so this was sometimes bad to have that knee kind of straight. But you'll notice it didn't start straight. It's not like you stepped in with a straight knee. You have a nice knee bend, and then you really use that right leg to create some power. Another thing I want to point out, which we did not at all talk about, but I'm so glad to see you do it great, is watch. Your left hand's still on. Your left hand is still on. So you'll notice as you swing, as the racket goes forward, your left hand does not let go right away. I mean, it's pretty quick. And now you'll see you're going to leave your left hand behind. And see how sometimes you'll see players will let their left arm go back, like they're calling a base runner safe. I prefer, for me, it's more natural just to leave it by your side. And so why is this important? it's important because it helps keep your shoulders sideways, from over rotating. So you'll see it right here. Your shoulders are still turned. They're pretty much, and then you are opening up a little bit on contact, but you're not over rotating. And that's almost a perfect finish. And so what we were talking about, and I mentioned this yesterday too, about the finish. So right now your racket is your racket head is up with the finish, but you'll see it naturally. See the butt cap kind of, the racket flips over a little bit. If you had stopped here, or if you had stopped here, it doesn't really matter. You would probably, because you put a lot of spin on the ball, it would make sense that your racket would flip over a little bit. If you had gone for a more like a flatter ball, it would have stopped right there. So again, there's no right or wrong answer all the time. It just depends, unfortunately. So my head is about, my hat is about 3 feet over the net, and I can't exactly. So you can see that's a nice high, but not too high. It's going to be deep, I guarantee you that. Into the court. Love it. And then from there, you could, if you wanted to hit it lower, there's ways to kind of tweak it. If you want to go higher, there's ways to tweak it. But just to kind of review yesterday, the big thing we really focused on was stepping in from we'll call it 6 o'clock. It's more like 7:30 really. 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock with that racket head. Great job, man.